of the tournament, Miss Caitlin Clark.
All right. Something very strange happened during United States women's national basketball team's World Cup qualifying run in Puerto Rico, and people are still trying to figure out what the hell really went down behind the scenes. Because head coaches do not just disappear in the middle of an international tournament. That shit almost never happens. Seriously, it's weird as hell. You might see an assistant step in for a game or two because of illness or travel issues. Maybe a coach leaves for a family emergency. That stuff happens. But when the head coach of Team USA suddenly stops showing up to games with no clear explanation, fans start asking a whole lot of damn questions. And that is exactly what happened with Kara Lawson. Lawson was supposed to be leading Team USA through the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualification tournament in Puerto Rico. Everything looked normal at first. The roster was stacked, expectations were sky high, and all eyes were on the biggest young star in the sport right now, Caitlin Clark. But then things started getting weird. Like, really weird. By the time the tournament had 3 games left, Lawson was suddenly gone. No big announcement, no clear explanation, just gone. Vanished. Poof. And standing on the sideline instead was Nate Tibbetts, the head coach of the Phoenix Mercury, suddenly running Team USA like he'd been there the whole damn time. So what the hell actually happened? What changed so dramatically that the leadership of Team USA shifted in the middle of the tournament? And more importantly, did this entire situation revolve around how Lawson handled Caitlin Clark? That's the question fans are still arguing about online like crazy. Because when you rewind to the start of the tournament, there was clearly a plan in place. And that plan did not revolve around Clark being the focal point. In fact, the plan was almost the complete opposite. Clark, who had quickly become the most electrifying player in women's basketball, was coming off the bench. Not once, not twice, but in 4 out of the first 5 games. Let that sink in for a second, because that's wild as hell. You have the most electric offensive talent in the sport sitting on the damn bench while the offense runs slow half-court sets. Fans were looking at the screen like, what the hell are we doing here? The first game of the tournament showed exactly why that decision confused so many people. Team USA faced Senegal, and Clark came into the game as a reserve. Her minutes were limited, her role was controlled. And yet somehow, she still made history. In that single game, Clark shattered 5 different FIBA records. She recorded the highest assist total ever by a Team USA player making their debut in a FIBA qualifying game. Records that had been standing for decades just disappeared overnight. Think about how insane that is. A player coming off the damn bench in limited minutes rewriting the record books. Naturally, most people assume the coaching staff would respond by expanding her role. That's usually how basketball works, right? A player dominates, you give them more responsibility. Simple. But that is not what happened. Instead, Clark was right back on the bench the next game. The offense remained slow, structured, controlled. Half-court possessions dragging forever before a shot even went up. Veterans handled most of the ball. Clark rotated in and out. Team USA was still winning games, but something felt off. They were winning, but they were not dominating. And with a roster that talented, that raised some serious eyebrows. Part of the reason may have been philosophical. Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever and also part of the Team USA staff, had talked publicly about wanting Clark to slow down her game. The idea was for Clark to operate more off the ball, play within a structured system, be a piece of the offense instead of the engine driving it. On paper, that sounds fine. But in reality, it created a problem. Because Clark's entire style is built around pace. She reads the floor faster than defenders can react. Her ability to push transition, see passing lanes early, and make split-second decisions is what makes her dangerous. When you slow that down, you're basically putting a damn speed limiter on a Ferrari. And eventually, that started showing up in the numbers. Team USA looked good, but they didn't look unstoppable. They were winning without ever hitting that explosive rhythm where opponents simply cannot keep up. Then came the Puerto Rico game, and that's where everything seemed to reach a breaking point. Caitlin Clark's minutes were cut even further. Puerto Rico responded with a defensive strategy designed specifically to neutralize her, the classic box and one. Basically 4 defenders in a zone and 1 defender chasing Clark everywhere on the court. In other words, she was the entire focus of the defense. And for stretches, it worked. Not because Clark lacked the ability to break it, but because the offensive system around her offered very few damn solutions. Ball movement stalled, spacing collapsed, the offense looked stuck. Commentators noticed, fans noticed, and social media absolutely lost its mind. Watching the game felt like seeing a Ferrari stuck in traffic. Everyone knew what Clark could do if she was allowed to play freely, but the system kept holding her back. And despite all of that, Clark still led Team USA in plus-minus and efficiency during the tournament.
Think about that. Limited minutes, bench role, defenses targeting her, and she still produced the most positive impact numbers on the roster. Not just Team USA either. Across the entire tournament, every team, every player, Clark led the field in those categories. Then came another moment that made people go, wait, what the hell? After the Puerto Rico game, Lawson stepped up to the podium for the post-game press conference. A reporter asked directly about Clark's role. Perfect chance to explain the strategy. Instead, Lawson sidestepped the question, talked about everyone shining, avoided discussing Clark's records, avoided discussing the minutes, avoided discussing the system, and didn't even mention Clark by name. Then something even stranger happened. The next game arrived, and Lawson was nowhere to be seen. When Team USA took the floor against New Zealand, the coach standing there was Nate Tibbetts. Again, Tibbetts coaches the Phoenix Mercury. That's his normal job. He wasn't supposed to be running Team USA during this tournament. Yet, there he was. Clipboard, timeouts, huddles, everything. And USA Basketball said absolutely nothing. No press release, no explanation, just silence. And whenever a major sports organization goes quiet like that, people start speculating. Fans began piecing together the timeline. Lawson disappeared right after the Puerto Rico game, right after the press conference, right after the Clark debate exploded online. Coincidence? Maybe. But the timing raised a lot of damn questions. Then Tibbetts made his first big decision as acting coach. He put Caitlin Clark in the starting lineup. First time in the entire tournament. So that was his opening move. And the results were immediate. Team USA beat New Zealand by 55 points. Clark played 23 minutes, scored 14 points, added 6 assists, 0 turnovers, and the offense looked completely different. The pace was faster, transition opportunities everywhere, spacing improved, teammates getting open looks earlier in the shot clock. The entire system looked alive again. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Same roster, same talent. The only thing that changed was the system. Clark was finally allowed to run the offense. And suddenly, Team USA looked unstoppable. Tibbetts didn't dodge questions about Clark either. He talked openly about using guard-heavy lineups, Clark sharing the floor with Kelsey Plum and Paige Beckers, 3 playmakers, constant pace, constant movement. And the results kept coming. Team USA beat Italy by 34 points next. By the final game, Clark was the centerpiece. Starting, most minutes, running the offense, and the wins were piling up. Then the stats told the full story. Clark led Team USA in minutes, assists, free throws made, efficiency, and plus-minus. Across the entire tournament field, she still finished first in plus-minus and efficiency. At just 22 years old, she became the youngest player in FIBA qualifying history to win tournament MVP. And remember, she spent most of the tournament coming off the bench. That's the detail people can't stop talking about. What would the numbers look like if she started all 5 games? What if the offense was built around her from the beginning? We'll never know. But we do know this. Clark broke 14 FIBA records in 7 days. 14. That's not normal. That's historic. TV ratings jumped, global attention exploded, sponsors noticed. Clark's international star power became impossible to ignore. And that brings the conversation back to the Indiana Fever. Stephanie White was on that sideline watching everything unfold. She saw what happened when Clark was forced to slow down. And she saw what happened when the offense ran through her natural style. The difference? Blowout wins of 55 and 34 points. Not subtle at all. So now the question moving forward is simple. What lessons will teams take from this tournament? Because one thing became crystal clear in Puerto Rico. When you build around Clark's strengths, the results can be explosive. When you try to force her into a system that limits those strengths, the offense struggles. 14 records, a tournament MVP, and a head coach who disappeared midway through the event. Whether anyone ever confirms what really happened behind the scenes or not, the timeline tells a pretty interesting damn story. But what do you think? Did Kara Lawson mishandle Caitlin Clark? Or is the whole situation getting blown way out of proportion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because in women's basketball right now, the Caitlin Clark era is just getting started.